Yeah. Going to my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. Last night on the television, I was on a telephone rapidly rising and with I don't know. COVID has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's lives reflected in the NHEI. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was on the foot in we're going to seize the ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. NATO's purpose is to defend against aggression. Let me make that near and dear to you that you would like to be able to. Anyway. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. I don't think as the idea that political coverage of I want to thank and recognize Dr. John Kingersong. Good song. I can't get this to function at all. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. No idea. No idea. No idea.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. It is Thursday, October 10th, 2024. I'm here live in the studio in central Pennsylvania. Welcome back. We have an interview tomorrow with an interesting organization. Hope you tune in for that. Late one at 8 p.m. for South Africa, 2 p.m. here on the East Coast. 3 games on Saturday. We've got Benetton hosting the Sharks. We've got Edinburgh hosting the Stormers, and then the Osprey hosting the Bulls, back to back to back on Saturday. Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon in South Africa, it will be the Lions on the road at the Dragons. So there you go. 4 URC games coming up this weekend. And let's see if we can get a sweep like we had last weekend. It's going to be a little harder because the Stormers are playing Edinburgh, and Edinburgh is desperate for a victory, and they'll be home. So we'll see what happens there. Welcome back to the program, folks. We opened it up with Dean Chancey, the singing cowboy, singing texting there, singing God Bless the RSA. Followed up by one of our favorite tunes, Joe Biden's favorite rap song, you know, My Mind's Going Blank Now. What the hell? I want to thank Dr. John Dr. John King song. Yeah, my mind's going blank. That'll be an all-time favorite forever. That, and I will vote for Trump. That one will be another great song we'll remember forever. Yeah. Welcome back, folks. We'll get into news in just a moment, but let me say hello to everybody. And if you're patient, hang around towards the end. I have a whole bunch of things to look at when it comes to the presidential race, the polls, and all that stuff taking place. All right? So be patient. Stick with me. Right. Head nose here. We've got Val Cooper, Charles Van Olsen, the voice of reason, Dylan Combrick, our viewer extraordinaire. Teresa's back again. Hey, Teresa. Hester Kotza. Paulie. Wow, the brains behind the operation. Although I don't see much in the way of production coming out of Paulie. Too busy putting out fires, literally, in Cape Town. Gus is back. Pablo Charlie. Hello again, Pablo. Nick Muller. Keith Alderson, Dylan Combert, Peter John Vost, Lilo. Good evening. Miss my denim shirt like that. Ah, okay. Denim shirts. I was never a big fan. I have a few. I have a denim Levi's jacket, but that thing is way too small for me. I was shorter when I bought it. The sleeves come up to here like I mean now. And I probably weighed about 40 pounds less than I do now because I was much shorter and skinnier. Yeah, I've had that thing for 25 years, going on 30, well, over 30 years, going on 40 years I've had that jacket. Levi's denim jacket, yeah. Everybody had to have those. Members first, Levi's denim jackets. Oh my goodness. Izod, you know, on the nipple there, the little alligator. Diane Humble, welcome to you. Mark Sayers, Brian Lawrenson, Ulrich Fenter, Lynette Orr, Monray Siebritz, Garrett Gillich, Devette Martens. Who else we got there? Missing anybody else? Robert Rankin's here. Alan Kutzel, welcome back. Okay. All right, so met your clear on. Yeah, that was Leia yesterday. So LMC, as usual, doesn't really come in here and comment. Likes to go on the videos and comment. My video on Duduzile Zuma. So here's a poll. Start a poll. Let's see. Was I wrong? Okay, so shoot, I don't have enough letters here. I have to put a number up because I don't have many. Okay. All right. So I've started a poll here, folks. Was I wrong in doing my video about Duduzile's comments about isiZulu, why she doesn't speak it, blaming apartheid? So there's your poll. You've got a chance to answer three questions. Yes, I was wrong to mock her comments. I was not wrong, or folks, there's just too many snowflakes. She deserved it. Take your choice. Gives you three options there. Thanks for voting. Yeah. So I did the video. LMC commented and said, "Well, your African language." First off, what did my African language have to do with other? It was in the video. It's fair to comment. I did mention that that I've learned African languages, but the comment I made was not that I'm fluent in these African language. I didn't say that in the video. I said that I began learning African language because I had an interest in my 20s and continued in my 40s. She's been in South Africa for 30 plus years and hasn't tried to learn isiZulu. I, over the course of 3 decades, tried to learn African languages. Now, I didn't claim I was proficient. I have in the past said I was fluent in Swahili, and I was fluent in Swahili, speaking it at one time, many, many years ago. So it's okay to mention my point, but taking it out of context, which is what LMC is good at. That's what he does, or she does, all the time. I have no idea. He, she, they, it. I don't know who LMC is. Just know that LMC likes to come on my videos and comment after the fact and give non sequiturs and unrelated things. Also, another person I know, a gentleman commenting about the language, had a long comment. It was a little hard to follow. I don't know if the person speaks Navajo or just thinks they know something about Navajos, but they clearly don't. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, Americans are the land of freedom, but they don't speak Navajo." Why would we speak Navajo? It's a tiny little tribe of, several hundred, a few thousand people located out in the western part of the United States, which most Americans never even encountered until the mid to late 19th century. We'd been here for 250 years before we encountered the Navajo. Now, the Spanish had encountered it long before that, but we didn't. They didn't learn Spanish. They learned, a few of them learned it, So why in the world would 85 million people learn a language spoken by 3,000 people? Other than just interest. Never mind the fact that it's notoriously difficult to pronounce and speak for non-native speakers. So, in fact, the gentleman is wrong. We do teach Navajo. The Navajo Nation has made it compulsory to learn Navajo from K through 12 since 1984, I think it is, 1982, 1984. It's been a long time. It's been over 30 years that they have been requiring all Navajo children in schools under Navajo control on Navajo reservations to learn Navajo in school. Also, he claimed that most Americans don't even know what Navajo is, don't know it's a Native American language. First off, that's a ludicrous comment. How can you say that about 330 million people? Second, we had a movie with Nicolas Cage called Code Talkers. So even if people did know American history and know about the Navajo Code Talkers, who we used to encrypt our messages. We didn't even encrypt them. We just had them speak Navajo, and Japanese couldn't figure it out during the Second World War. Most Americans learned that in junior high school or high school. And even those who didn't pay attention, a lot of people are familiar with the Nicolas Cage movie. So that's a kind of silly comment there. Anyway, but why we learn a notoriously difficult language spoken by a few dozens of people. You know, when I mention the language Nu, which is a Khoi language, to South Africans, I get stares from black, white, and brown South Africans. Almost nobody's ever heard of the language, and understandably so. It's about to go extinct. Only one first language speaker left, and that's Oma Catharina Esau in Uppington. That's it. She's the last one that we know of. She's almost 90 years of age. And South Africans have no idea what I'm talking about. So what's with that stupid comment? You know, Americans don't think. You know, non sequiturs and, you know, rabbit holes and distractions are, you know, that's what they are. That's what they are. Anyway, so the poll is up. How's it going? Most people think there's too many snowflakes. Yep. She might have been better to balance the pros and cons for separate development, which allowed for native language acquisition. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that interesting? Apartheid didn't oppress people from speaking languages. That's a lie on her part. In fact, it encouraged people to learn those languages by segregating them into the Transkei, the Ciskei, Bopututswana, Venda, all these places. They actually encouraged people to use these languages. They didn't discourage it. What they did do is try to force compulsory learning of Afrikaans so that people could interact with the government. Yeah. So anyway, very different stories. Very different stories. What did Hendo say? She ain't too bright. Butternut showerhead. Oh my God, I haven't seen that in ages, Hendo. Oh my goodness. HBD. I have no idea what HBD is. Yeah. Dodgy Afrikaans is better than his Navajo. Yeah, no, I don't know any Navajo. I don't speak any Native American languages. The only native language I speak is English from this continent. French, I guess if you consider Canada French, I do speak French because Quebec, the Quebecois speak it as a native language, their first language. Can't recall from the top of my head. It rains after Paul. What's this? Oh my goodness, are we complaining about the audio again? Oh my goodness, are we complaining about the audio again? Well, with good reason, apparently. I fixed it, and now it's back. For the comment. Let's see. For the comment. Let's see. Okay, that sounds a lot better. For the comment. Let's see. Okay, that sounds a lot better. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. All right, thank you for the comment there, bystander. I don't know what the deal is with this microphone. It was working perfectly fine. Dylan said it was fine. Well, it wasn't fine for me, Dylan, so there's something that's not quite right. Ever since I had to get the cooling system changed, there's been a problem. I'll try switching up the USB connection and see if that makes a difference. I don't have a free one, but I'll just swap things out and maybe there's something. Well, it's not tinny anymore, Charles. It was tinny. Leah says it sounds perfect. Anyway, no, it definitely was tinny, so thank you for that. Yeah, the mic is possessed. They're all like Twilight Sparkle. They're all Chinese microphones. Nobody's making these things over here anymore. Come on. It's all Chinese. It's probably a listening and tracking device inside the damn thing. And we switch over to this one. We can always go to the boom mic. And then what do you get? You get an echo now? You got two microphones. I wonder what happens with two microphones. And then what do you get? You get an echo now? You got two microphones. I wonder what happens. Yeah, you definitely get an echo with two microphones. So I wonder what happens. Okay, how about now? Yeah, you definitely get an echo with two microphones. So I wonder what happens. Okay, how about now? Yeah, you definitely get an echo with two microphones. So I wonder what happened. Okay, how about now? Yeah, like we're in a loop there. All right, we're back over here now. Let's see what the sound sounds like. That's strange. Back over here now. Let's see what the sound sounds like. That's strange. All right. Wow, fun times, eh? No, it's not PooTube. It's something going on. Yeah, this sounds so. I did that. I gave you the echo, so this would sound a lot better by comparison. Excuse me, I got congestion here. Unfortunately, so I got a phone call from the people who have to go see for a neurologist about a scan that I'm supposed to get, and they said that we don't have a referral. I'm like, I don't know how that works. I've never been referred by my primary care provider at the military facility to a specialist, and then they require a test. I don't know how that works. Do I have to do it? Does the doctor do it? I would think the doctors in the system, they would do it, since I was referred to them. Well, I had to stop by the base yesterday, the post, and I went into the health benefits advisor and I explained to her what's going on. She goes, well, here, hang on a second. Oh, there was a referral. Your neurologist put it in July. She said they do this a lot. They look for an upcoming appointment. They look for something in the last week or two and there's nothing and they tell you they have no referral. She printed it out for me, so I have the referral here. And because it's hard for me to find it on this stupid website, the portal is so complicated, such a pain about. Anyway, she gave it to me, and she faxed it to them. So it's here. Now it even has the address of the place I'm supposed to go. Anyway, so boy, what a waste of time. Her time, my time, everybody's time. And then yesterday I found out that the podiatrist that I had to visit, I had a medical appointment yesterday for a podiatrist, they hadn't been paid the insurer's portion of the bill, and they keep sending me a bill, and she said, just disregard it. We have to do that for billing purposes. You don't owe us any money. You paid your copay. The problem is that they cut physical checks and they stick them in the mail. They don't do electronic transfer. The government doesn't do electronic transfer to pay these medical bills. They do a physical check. Twice now, someone has intercepted their check somewhere at the post office, a sorting center somewhere, and actually cashed the check. And they go back and the provider, TRICARE, says that you've cashed the check. And like, no, we didn't. We don't have the check. So they're fighting with the provider or with the insurer to get the money. It's insane. Then for a dermatologist, they keep sending me a bill, and I paid my share, and they were threatening my credit history, and I called them. They called me. Then the lady said, we'll write it off. Then I received another bill after she said they wrote it off. In the meantime, I intervened and went to the health benefits advisor, and they said, no, there's a problem here. We'll fix it. Okay, they'll get paid. So, this is so much time wasted. I don't have time for this. This is why I just don't get medical care. I just suffer. What's the point? You have to go down all these rabbit holes to chase things down, for things that were supposed to be free. I mean, as a veteran, a retiree, I'm supposed to have free medical care the rest of my life for myself and my family members. And that's not how things have panned out. So I was fed a lie for 4 decades about that. But whatever. I'm not here to whine. I'm just explaining to you the challenges going on. Dylan says check is no use days. Well, you say so, Dylan, but because of the hyperinflation imposed upon the world by Joe Biden's feckless and incompetent administration, in America, many businesses are now charging you 3 to 5% surcharge because the credit card charge is eating into their tiny margins. And so when I went to the dentist, they give you a discount if you pay by check or pay by cash. When I went to the dermatologist, they said, I'm going to have to charge you 3.5% charge unless you want to pay by cash or by check. So I wrote a check. I have to pay a surcharge to pay my water bill, so I pay by check. So you say checks are going away, and they're useless, but they're not in America. Checks are making a comeback. More and more transactions being done by check because there's no surcharge. The inflation is eaten away at the margins of restaurants, at hotels, of bars. So places really value you handing over cash. They really do. They try to make us go cashless. They try to eliminate checks, but you can't because businesses can't afford that margin loss with the hyperinflation that Joe Biden has brought to us. Yep. Keith said, if one isn't exposed to language in the first 2 or 3 years, it's difficult. I would argue, Keith, that my experience, I've seen that kids up through probably 6 or 7 is when you've got to strike. You've got to get a kid introduced to a language by the age of 6 or 7. By 1 or 2, it's very easy. By 6 or 7, it's still relatively easy. After that, it becomes increasingly challenging. Trying to learn all of my foreign languages, I learned, German starting when I was 18. But everything else I learned in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s. Learning a language in your late 30s is not easy, even if you already speak multiple languages. Yeah, it sounds like South Africa's now the health insurance. Well, it's government run. We see these people, these leftists, God, we need socialized, we need single provider. No, we don't. No, we don't. We need competitive marketplace where people compete for your business based on quality of service, timeliness of service, availability of service, and cost. But we don't have that. What we have is a system distorted by the government creating Medicare and Medicaid and interfering in the medical process. So, for instance, if I were to show you my bill from my dermatologist, the whole thing is a joke anyway. First off, here's my visit to the dermatologist. An hour drive, 45-minute drive down to a place that I don't even live near. I waste petrol going down there, so that's $6 or $7 in petrol going down and back, so $15 just for my petrol. And I waste an hour down there, an hour back. It's 2 hours of my day to sit down and see a physician's assistant, not even the dermatologist. So the PA looks at me and goes, okay. And she writes a script for doxycycline. Why did I go down there for that? Then I'm billed $38 for my copay. And then the insurance provider looks at it and they say, the bill was or $230. Not making this up. $230 for less than 5-minute visit, which I could have done at my GP. I don't even have to do it. I can go online and say, hey, write them a text message. I need a new prescription. Anyway, so $230. They say, no, we don't allow that. And that's what they do in Medicare and Medicaid. Same thing with the insurance provider across the board. We're not going to pay that. That's excessive, which it's not. It's the actual cost per patient. I mean, this is not what it costs to give me the care, but that's how they break things out so they can pay all their expenses. $230. No, we're not going to allow that. We're only going to pay $78. So they say the bill is $78. So I pay my copay of $37, $38, and then they're supposed to pay the rest. Except they didn't. They didn't. And they still haven't. From April. Mike, I don't agree. Fees are not a form of taxation. No, we're talking about different fees. Credit card fees from credit card companies and banks is not a tax. It's a cost of doing business. I mean, the people who come up with credit cards don't magically have the billions of dollars to finance people's buying habits every month. They don't have the machines and the processing and the security. All that takes money. All the people, the call centers, all this stuff takes money. All the relationships you form with third parties that, want a branded card like a sports team, Manchester United, MasterCard, or a Dallas Cowboys Visa. All of that takes time, resources, and money, and it's all part of an industry. So that's not a tax, Mike. I think we're talking about two different things here. It's a cost of doing business. And in the past, before Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, businesses would often just eat that cost. They knew that the cost of doing business meant that they were going to have to eat the cost of that 2.5 to 3. So here's the thing, and here's the object lesson when it comes to credit card fees. And this is what I've been talking about for decades, and we'll talk about South Africa in this context as well. So when I went to South Africa in 2000, I discovered something. Most hotels and restaurants were being hit with a 5% charge for using Visa and MasterCard. It was much less common back then. Not everybody had a card. There weren't all debit cards. They didn't all have credit cards. So they charged that. And I asked why. Well, because they can. It's basically an oligarchy. It's a cabal of a few banks. 5 banks that control the entire market sector. So they set the fee and they make money hand over fist. Hotels and restaurants ate that cost by elevating and increasing their prices. Well, that was back then. So 5% is excessive. That is a brake on economic growth. If every $100 that you receive in revenue, you have to give $5 to a credit card processor, that's a loss of revenue, lost opportunity, lost investment money, lost reinvestment money, lost increased salaries, lost dividends, all that stuff. It's gone. That's excessive. In America in the 1980s, American Express was a charge card. American Express was never a credit card up until the 90s. Up until the 1980s, American Express was a charge card. A charge card is a card that you must pay the entire balance off every single month. Otherwise, they'll take your card away. So American Express made its money not off of interest from people using the money, but off of fees. And the fees were excessive. The average fee for American Express in the mid-1980s was like 3.2%. Now, in the South African context, that sounds low, but in America, that was high. Visa and then MasterCard undercut that, and then Discovery came along, created by Sears. They came along and undercut that by charging lower rates because they had bigger, because American Express was cachet. It was carte blanche. It was the freaking, members only jacket of its day. Having an American Express card, you made it. I remember I got my first American Express card. I'm like, Robin Leach, lifestyles of the rich and famous. Yeah, because I had an American Express card. Never mind, it had a $200 limit on it, but I had one. Anyway, so they were charging 3.2%. Visa was charging an average of 1.8%. Now, depending on the type of merchants, those fees go up. So in the modern age of online shopping, that's a real issue. A lot of vendors who are online services, their fees are higher because it's riskier, subscription sites and things like that, and purchasing online. So, but the average was about 1.6 to 1.8%. So you would go places that accept American Express, and oftentimes they'd ask you when you pull out an American Express card, they're not allowed to do this, but you pull out an American Express card, they're like, do you have another credit card? Because American Express would charge them 3.2% or higher, and Visa and MasterCard would charge them 1.8%. So they're losing 1.5% of the money you give them. So if your bill's $100, they lose $1.50. Do that 50 times in a day, and that's a lot of money. So, yeah. That's kind of how that works. Those are costs of doing business. But the inflation is so high now. The cost of doing everything is so ridiculous. I mean, so let me give you an example here real quick. I don't think I mentioned this on the program yesterday. So I've been going to Hershey Bear games since I arrived in Pennsylvania from Ethiopia in 2015. By the way, it's the longest I've ever lived anywhere, one place. It's just absolutely crazy. I have no idea. It's strange. Surprised I don't have like tons of junk. Well, I have tons of mementos, but not tons of junk in my house. Anyway, so I've been going to games. When I first went to the games, you could get a upper level in an ice hockey arena seat for $12. And lower level, decent seats, but not in the middle, but on the sides, for $16. Not bad. Parking was $5. Most minor league teams weren't charging for parking, but Hershey charged for $5, and I complained about it. $5. I was going to go to Saturday's game in the evening to watch their opener against Cleveland. However, when I went online, the upper level seats were $79. Not $12, $79. So 12 times 5 is 60. Times 6 is 72. So it's 6.5 times more expensive than it was 9 years ago. My income is lower than it was when I retired 5 years ago because you don't get your full paycheck. So, interesting. The lower level seats were $99, $100. So let's say you're a family of four, okay? A family of four. A wife, a husband, partner, whatever you want to call yourselves, and 2 kiddies. Let's pretend the kids are boys and girls, not theys and thems. So, family of 4. $400 for the tickets, plus the convenience charge, because you have to pay Ticketmaster for every ticket, a convenience charge, and you have to pay a processing fee. That's their job. They're there to process. So then you pay a processing fee on top of that. So that $400 becomes easily $425 minimum, maybe $430. Then it's $30 for parking. It's $460. You haven't even seen the game yet. You don't know if it's going to be a quality, entertaining game or they're going to win. Then if you buy food, they only pay their employees about $7.50 an hour, yet they charge, an outrageous amount for a burger or for a hot dog, and then half the concession stands are shut down because nobody will work for $7.50 and people are too lazy to work that kind of job. So you're out $500,000 to go to a freaking hockey game. Seriously? It's insane. It's insane. All right. The O's vaulted first arena was a classic arena, not like today's shopping mall arena. I'm fine with the new arena, Mike. I don't mind it, but I do mind $99 for a ticket. That's insane. So, all right. So I got 87 votes in the poll. Let's get to 100 so it's scientific. Shipping costs went through the roof. Ending 10 kg from South Africa cost $8,000 DHL. Yeah, no, Mark Sayers, it's always been a problem. I sent stuff to South Africa a few years ago in 2020. Went to Ronaldo. It was for several people, and including the Ronaldo's pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks and some MAGA hats that people were asking for. It cost me $324, I think it was, to send it DHL. It got there in 2 days, as they promised, and then the criminals in the customs service demanded a bribe. And it took 3 months to get it out. And Ronaldo had to pay more than the value of the goods to get it out. Not to mention the shipping. Crazy. All right, 88 people voted now. Barting has been criminalized officially at about the same time and currency was put in law. Yeah. Looking at taxes because of living in gated places. Huh. 8 banks. Yeah, but there's 5 main banks. 5, it's a cabal of 5 main banks. FMB, Standard, and a few others. My son was in Costa Rica, and now he speaks it quite well, but Costa Rica, no one speaks English, let alone Afrikaans. No, they speak Spanish. Eric says, I can't speak Swahili anymore, although I did Latin in school for 2 years, also lost that. If you want to break something, give it to the government. Exactly, Mark. The more languages you know, the quicker you learn more. Yeah, that's true, Garrett, but it still can be challenging when you get older. Banking America is seriously retarded. No ETFs. Of course we have ETFs. What are you talking about, Arctic? We have ETFs. We have electronic funds transfer. You can do it all the time. All the time. Piece of cake. I do it between my business account and my personal account all the time. Between my savings account, my checking account, different banks. I do EFTs all the time. At no fee. No fee. No fee. Yep. Yeah, I think they're gone to South Africa, but they still exist in the UK and the US. It is a beautiful day in PA. We're not hit by the storm. By the way, I think all things considered, look, I'm not trying to downplay it, but it looks like Milton didn't do quite the damage that they claimed it was going to do. And that's good for many people. But it did some damage, and there were deaths associated with it. So Lilo grew up bilingual. Okay. Why does she not? Well, that's a good question. Somebody said her Mozambican mother died when she was 14 or something like that. But by then, you've already learned a language. If you're a kid, your mother language you learn at the foot of your mother, suckling on her breast, being nursed, being raised, being admonished, being talked to, being cherished, being loved. You have to say you learn a language. Sure, you talk to other people, you hear other people, but you learn it from your mother most of the time. Lee said, oh, I know, Erica still speaks French, okay? 10/10 used to be a public holiday in South Africa, the birthday of Paul Kruger. Okay, thank you. Ravani Fribus is here, welcome to you. 2% of the voters who voted yes to the polls are idiots. Is that what you said? I didn't see that. No, 7% said I was overly harsh. That's fine. Twilight Sparkle. It is a Chinese microphone. Okay, back down here to what's going on in the chat. Yeah, anyway, so Tampa Bay had a negative storm surge, which significantly reduced highly populated area hit, I believe. Yeah, no, true, Keith. As a developing country gets to ship to our countries for free. What are you saying, Keith? What are you talking about? All right, we haven't even got to the news, folks, and we are a good 34 minutes into it. Let's start talking about the news. Paul Mashatile, the deputy president, is under increasing pressure over criminal allegation charges. Yeah, this hasn't gone away for Paul. The Hawks, the public protector, and now the special investigating unit probe cases linked to the deputy president. His son-in-law is facing investigations by the Hawks over the purchase of a 28 million rand house in Constantia, while two of his sons will have to answer questions over contracts awarded by Gauteng departments to a company linked to them. Now, a special investigating unit investigation into the Gauteng Department of Human Settlements, while he was MEC, threatens to ensnare him in another major investigation. Wow. Look, at some point, when there's that much smoke, there must be fire. Just saying. Durban. No water, folks. No water. eThekwini is kicking off water shedding, and they deny that it's water shedding. Yeah. The eThekwini Municipality Water Curtailment Project has officially begun. The project, expected to run for 12 months, is being implemented in a bid to reduce the volume of water abstracted from the Umgeni system to their licensed volumes of 470 million cubic meters per year. This will mean a reduction in the current sales and abstraction volume of 8.4%. The city dispelled rumors about the curtailment of water being called water shedding. But it's exactly that. You will not have water, and you'll like it. No soup for you. No soup for you. Well, concerns over VIP expenditures, what's been raised by political parties in the past, but it comes up this time by Action SA, trying to redeem themselves after their abysmal conduct and the race hustling over Shwane in Gauteng. Rise Mzansi, in this case, Rise Mzansi MP Ghana flags likelihood of bill increasing considering bigger cabinet of government of national unity. 360 million rand spent on VIP protection. Rise Mzansi's raised questions about 360 million rand overtime bill. The Action SA is another story, which I believe I'll be bringing to you here shortly. Yeah. With more VIPs in the form of ministers and deputy ministers, it's inevitable that during the current term, the SAP's VIP protection unit overtime bill will increase sharply. Why don't they simply hire more staff? Then you don't have to pay overtime. The Lusikiki murders, one of the accused is a convicted murderer. Why is he even on the streets? 45-year-old man arrested in connection with the mass shootings that claimed 18 lives is a convicted killer who is out on parole. The National Prosecuting Authority said 45-year-old Sifiso Okskolo Makateke appeared in Lusikiki Magistrates Court on Wednesday. He faced 18 counts of murder and one count of possession of an unlicensed firearm. Eastern Cape MPA spokesperson Loksolo Tiele said Makalene was arrested at his home. Wow. This guy's a convicted murderer, and he's walking the streets. Why are murderers walking the streets of South Africa? There's no redemption for murderers. Luxury cars. This is the Action SA story I want to talk about. Luxury cars and SUVs. Oh, no, that's not the story. Wrong one. Where is that story at? Where is that story at? It disappeared. There we go. There we go. So let me move that back here to join that story. So we just did, that's not it. Oh, we did listen. Here's the story I want to talk. They're out of order here. Somebody's messing with my stream. Parliament. Parking lot looks like a luxury car showroom, says Action SA. They want Police Minister Mkuno to come clean on the VIP protection costs. So Rise Mzansi and Action SA are making noise about VIP protection costs. Action SA asked Mkuno how many bodyguards and luxury cars each of the 32 ministers and 43 deputy ministers has, along with their cost and details about the blue lights on the vehicles. However, Mkuno did not provide this information, citing security concerns. Well, they spend a lot of money on it. Folks, this one's beyond the pale. A South African South African Police Service police officer got insurance policies on South Africans, black South Africans, mind you, and then murdered them. A cop. Can you believe this? In Limpopo. This is insane. Luxury cars and SUVs. How police sergeant allegedly killed people for 10 million rand in insurance payouts. A cop who allegedly killed 6 people for 10 million rand insurance payouts apparently used the money to buy 2 Range Rovers, a Land Cruiser, a BMW 3 Series, and a Mercedes C-Class. Well, how many vehicles does she need? All are alleged to have been paid for with cash. Insiders close to the investigation told News 24 that the 43-year-old officer committed the murders between 2019 and 2024. The cop, a 43-year-old police sergeant, was arrested at the police station Thursday morning as she reported for duty. 2 more women were arrested in connection with the case later in the day. They're alleged to have been fronts for 2 scams where she made the women take insurance policies on their ex-boyfriends before killing them. What? A cop, murder for hire, killing ex-boyfriends. Talk about bitter shrews. Wow. The 6 victims were Sydney Noko Montia, murdered on the 21st of October 2019. Joyce Sela Malesa, that's not a boyfriend, on July 5th, 2020. Naval Kutumela on April 6th, 2021. Mpare Ephraim Chosi on August 1st, 2021. Jacob Petrus Sekalema on 14 September 2022, and Puti Martin Mohata on 13 April 2024. The victims were known to the police officer. Between 2019 and 2024, she allegedly killed every year except 2023. Wow. She took out insurance policies with various companies, including ABSA, FMB, Asapol, One Life, and Standard Bank. In all cases, she allegedly pocketed between 1.5 million and 3 million worth of accidental death plans and also funeral covers. She cashed out all insurance policies until Chosi's death in 2021. By then, the insurance companies were on to her, and they refused to pay out. She would initially take her victims, some of whom were mentally or physically disabled, to buy funeral policies. And she did this for at least 4 of the victims. Once the covers for funeral policy were covered, she would allegedly phone insurance companies impersonating those people and apply for life insurance cover. A few months later, she would murder the victim. Wow. They're either shot or beaten to death. In one instance, the victim was set alight inside a shack, and another was beaten and thrown into a dam. She ensured the bodies were found near the vicinity of the Sehecho police station because it was overwhelmed with homicides. Wow. 2 more people, both women, were recruited, and they were part of it. This is beyond the pale, folks. This is insane. This is what happens when you allow criminality in your society. But good news. Little former Justice Minister Ronnie Lamola, who's now the Foreign Minister, replacing Jabba the Hutt and Lady Pandora. Solo. Yeah. Ronnie Lamola says that he's looking forward to future relations between South Africa and the U.S. South Africa wants much stronger diplomatic, bilateral, and trade relations with the U.S., similar to those between South Africa and China, according to Ronnie Lamola. South Africa has already taken steps to ensure better relations with the U.S., which is its biggest trading partner. I don't think that's true, Ronnie. I believe we're number 2. Your friends in China, the Chinese communists, occupy the number 1 trading position with South Africa and have done so since about 2013, if I'm not mistaken. He said, we've already made the proposal to the U.S. State Department and Congress. We've proposed an annual type of engagement instead of only engaging when there's controversy. I'm confused. In 1995, the Clinton administration began the U.S.-South Africa Binational Commission, which meets annually. Has that been dissolved? Do we no longer do that? I know. I was involved in that on the margins of that a few years back. Do we no longer do the U.S.-South Africa Binational Commission? Al Gore opened up the first session. Do we no longer do that? We should not be meeting annually, Ronnie. We should be meeting anytime there is a concern between the U.S. government and the South African government, or we wish to cooperate and you wish to cooperate. You see, Ronnie, we have an embassy. It's in Hatfield. Big building right there on Schoeman. I'm sorry, Francis Bard, but on Schoeman. And on the other side, if you come in from the east into Central Business District, as you go through Hatfield, there's the Chi-Com embassy, then the Russian embassy. And you keep going, you look on the left, and whoop, there's the American embassy all by itself. Big setback so the terrorists can't bomb the place. I've been there 1,000 times, been inside the building many times, worked there. That's where our diplomats are. We have an ambassador there. We have political officers there, commercial officers there. If you want to engage with the U.S. government, that's where you do it. There's no need to come to America. There's no need to set up an annual meeting. You can have a meeting any day you want. I guarantee you that Ambassador Brigitte, if you pick up the phone right now, hello, this is Ronnie Lamola from the African National Congress. I'm the Minister of Bogus Foreign Affairs. Can I sit down with your ambassador? In fact, could you send him over? Absolutely. Americans will do it in a heartbeat. The leftists are desperate to be friends with the Chi-Coms. Well, I mean, the ANC. Same thing. Lilo says, apologies for not being here, just trying to keep positive. No, keep positive. We had positive stuff yesterday, Lee. Talk about some positive stuff. Yeah, so, relations can be better between South Africa and U.S., but you need to quit doing things that undermine our foreign policy, or you can hit the road jack. Hey, talk about a party jumper. This is just someone I don't know who this guy is, but this is the grift. You just go from party to party. Wow. It sounds like Patricia DeLille. From DA to Action SA to UAT to TTA, nomadic former acting Shawna Mayor Abel Tao joins Jacob Zuma's MK party. Oh my goodness. He was the acting mayor in 2019. MK is pleased to invite the media house and members of the public to an event to welcome new members of the organization. As part of the growth of MK in Gauteng, we are attracting a number of comrades that have identified the MK as a viable political home, the only revolutionary party in South Africa. Revolutionary party. These people act like they're soldiers. There's no revolution. There's no revolution. Get over yourselves. Well, folks, residents near the Vaal and the Harts River have been warned. You keep putting poo water in the water, what do you get? Cholera. Cholera has turned up in the Vaal and Harts Rivers. Good God. Residents along the Harts and Vaal Rivers in Northwest and Northern Cape from Christiana downstream have been advised not to drink or come in contact with untreated water from the rivers after tests detected the presence of cholera. Water sampling and Sanitation Department spokesperson Visane Mavasa said the statement that during the routine raw sampling in September, water from 5 sites, the Wenzel Dam, the Schweizerenica, Christiana, Barclay West, Caravan Park, and Douglas Veer, indicated the presence of cholera. Communities in the Dr. Ruth Mpati, Francis Bard, and Pixley Kaseme district and the water service authorities in the area have been asked to take extra care in the water treatment process. Good God. Well, say you're drinking poo water, South Africa. Good God. More failures by the ANC. My goodness. Kaiser Chiefs are fined by the soccer league for fan violence. Does anybody take this silly game of soccer that seriously? Shame on you. Kaiser Chiefs have been fined 150,000 rand after fans threw objects during their 2-1 loss in Mamelodi Sundowns. Well, South Africans complain about the British Empire and colonialism and the behavior of the Brits and imposing English on everybody. Yet, when it comes to football, they behave just like English hooligans. What's this? Did I get a... Hey, Lee Lowe, you gave me a super sticker. I did not even see it. 140 rand. Thank you for that, Lee. Sorry, I just happened to see it up there at the top. I missed that earlier. Wow. China and South Africa, the relationship is the best in its history. Of course it is. China gets free reign in South Africa. Free tax-free industrial zones where only Chi-Coms can hang out. You get to use dumping of your inferior products in South Africa. Yeah, you love it. You get all the minerals shipped to, unfinished, processed. The Chi-Coms love their relationship with the ANC. No doubt they're helping the Chinese rape South Africa's natural resources. Director of China's National Financial Regulatory Administration, Li Yunze, who's on a visit to South Africa, has pledged Beijing support to assist Pretoria in achieving its economic goals through working together on programs like the Belt and Road Initiative and the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Jawohl, Herr Kommissar. I'll do as instructed by the Chi-Coms. Folks, I warned you yesterday about scams, particularly women being targeted scams, especially lonely women. It's unfortunate, but here you go. Boyfriend, only known as Chris, vanished with the Northwest woman's $600,000 pension payout. Why did you take a pension payout? The Directorate of Priority Crime Investigation, known as the Hawks, has arrested 37-year-old Caroline Sifusa after she allegedly received money more than $600,000 defrauded from an unsuspecting Northwest woman. Wow. The 37-year-old and her company on Wednesday appeared before the Specialized Commercial Crime Court in Clarkstorp. Wow. After a few weeks of dating, the man reportedly advised her to resign from work, claim her pension funds, and give it to him. The victim allegedly complied. In July 2023, she received a pension payout of $634,000. After receiving her pension payout, the 47-year-old woman informed her boyfriend, Chris. Hawks indicated Chris went to the victim's house in Northwest and asked the woman's banking login details. The woman gave him the details, and Chris used the banking app to transfer $610,000 to a bank account, which was unknown to his lover. She scammed the woman. That's the last time she saw him. Folks, don't be stupid. Don't let people take advantage of you like this. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. I still haven't seen that thing come up on the screen. All right, so I'm going to end the poll with 112 votes. Thank you for voting in the poll, folks. Fishing at the Val. Yeah, no, I'm not fishing at the... I went down the toilet. Yep. Amandla. Pinocchio, good evening. Stop talking. What? I got a tricky tummy, possibly dysentery when I drank from a borehole. Oof. I don't drink any water out of any sources, only bottle. Delil is a human fleece. Okay. China's a developing country, yep. Ronnie Lamolle should win the ANC conference for what? Keep in mind there's not only luxury cars, but armor plated. Yeah, no, I know that. I know that. Trump to create a sovereign wealth fund. I don't know how. There's no money. How about we pay back $35 trillion and then worry about a sovereign wealth fund? Yep. Good night, Lee. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the super sticker. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Hey, Sedgefield, how's it going? All right. Well, Jake White says, Bulls first. Screw the Springboks. Ooh, that's not going to go over well with Rossi. Jake's red flag over balance between franchise and Bucks. A Bulls player will play for the Bulls. Bulls director of rugby Jake White is concerned about the volume of rugby South African players, especially those the Bulls have to play as the end-of-year tour looms. Springboks are expected to gather in the last week of October. Yep, but the last week of October still has URC games, and so will the Bulls be stripped of their Springboks? Seems like a very real possibility. And Bok van Blerk has come out with a new song, ladies and gentlemen, a new song from Bok van Blerk. This one just came out, already had 22,000 visits in the first day. Check it out, Bok van Blerk. Ik ben een Afrikaner. All right, Bok van Blerk is back with what was likely to be a sure hit, Ik ben een Afrikaner. Wow, good stuff. I assume that's his daughter in the video. That's lovely, beautiful child. Yep, that already has an additional 1,000 views since I watched it earlier. So congratulations to Bok van Blerk. Ik ben een Afrikaner. There you go. Awesome stuff. Turning our attention to neighboring Namibia, which is sold on hydrogen, but continues to obsess about the genocide in the 20th century. Now, the problem I have with that is, let's talk about the genocide. Let's expose it. Let's talk about the horrors that took place. Shark Island, what happened to the Witbooi Nama, what happened to the Herero. Absolutely. But Germans in Germany today bear no responsibility for that. You want that money, you're going to have to go back with Sherman and Mr. Peabody in the Wayback Machine to the German Empire, an entity that doesn't exist. So, for instance, at the time that genocide occurred, Germany included Alsace-Lorraine, which is in France. It included Eupen, which is in Belgium. It included Schlesien, Pommern, Ostpreußen, all of which now are part of Russia, Poland. So, will those people there be responsible for reparations? It's idiotic. Absolutely idiotic. Let's blame the Romans, says Pablo Charlie. Yep. Namibia's president committed to green hydrogen. Namibian leader Nangolo Mbumba says his country values cooperation with Germany in creating clean energy and addresses German aid could be used to help communities affected by colonial-era atrocities. One of the responses to climate change has been developing green hydrogen projects, chasing unicorns, like the Hyphen project you are developing in Namibia. How do you respond to critics who say the project creates new problems, including environmental ones? We need to decarbonize the world. How? By using available energies from the sun and wind. Good Lord. Yes, Namibia has, that's a concept photo, by the way. That's not real. Yep. So anyway, and they talk about reparations here, but that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Botswana unveils the first assembled, not manufactured, but assembled Chinese electric cars. Assembled right there in Botswana. Check it out, folks. Wow. It's Eric Masisi looking at a charger. Like most politicians, all these fellows are pretty amply supplied. Look at those waistlines. Botswana Monday unveiled its first batch of locally assembled electric vehicles in Gaborone, the capital of Botswana, with support from 2 Chinese vehicle manufacturing companies. Wow. The unveiling ceremony took place in the showroom of Botswana Institute of Technology Research and Innovation, which was established in 2012 as a parastatal under the Ministry of Communications, Knowledge, and Technology. Wow. After inspecting the vehicles, Botswana's President Mokgweetsi Masisi commended Bitri for choosing the right partners in Chinese companies, saying the initiative will go a long way in supporting and promoting the usage of renewable energy in the automobile industry. Yeah, sure. There's 6 EVs in Botswana? Zimbabwe begins to compensate local and foreign farmers over land invasions. Black local, and foreign nationals. Zimbabwe's government is starting distributing $20 million as initial compensation to local black and foreign white farmers whose land was stolen from them during the land invasions 2 decades ago. According to the country's finance minister, the move is part of a broader effort by the government to revive the agriculture sector. I don't know how it does that by paying people you owe money to. Yep. The government seized thousands of productive farms, majority of owned by white farmers whose ancestors had stolen the land from black Zimbabweans. No. There was no land tenure before they came. They won that through conquest. That's not theft. A group of foreign white farmers and 400 black Zimbabweans will receive the initial compensation. It's separate from a $3.5 billion settlement that was awarded in 2020, but they have no money to pay for. Yeah, external debt is over $12 billion at the moment, and they can't get any more money. So this is to pay the South Africans and Namibians and Americans and Australians and whoever else, Zambians, who owned farms in Zimbabwe that were stolen from them under this land invasion. And then, of course, the commercial black farmers who were excluded from the original settlement. As I said, of the 4,300 commercial farmers in Zimbabwe in 2000, over 400 were black farmers whose land was also stolen from them. Well, Zimbabwe's Kirsty Coventry is in the running for the head of the International Olympic Committee. No woman has ever been in charge of it. She's unlikely to win, in my view, because of her failure as a member of parliament, as a minister in the government. There she is, an incredible performance as an Olympian swimmer. Yep, Sportswoman of the Year in 2000. She had a huge medal breakthrough at Commonwealth Games and won a gold medal in the Olympics. She won 3 at the Athens Games in Greece. Yep, and she was just amazing, incredible. In Sydney, she was amazing, and she helped unite Zimbabweans. She's the most decorated sportsman in all of Zimbabwe, but then got into politics in 2018. She became the sports minister. But Zimbabwe's sports legacy has repeatedly failed, sports industry has failed, and has been plagued by scandal. Stadiums were banned by Confederation of African Football from hosting all international games back in 2020. The national and domestic teams are playing their home games abroad. Some of the stadiums were banned for lack of bucket seats and absence of electronic turnstiles, and she promised to rectify the situation, but the stadiums remain blacklisted. Yep. So, to be fair, there's no money because Sanders steals it all. Hey, here's an uplifting story, Lee. If you left already, sorry you left already. But long-lost shipwreck with gold. Ooh, a Portuguese ship that wrecked off the coast of Angola centuries ago. And look at the gold. I don't know why the story is being told now in the news because this has been a story that's been developing over 20 years. But Harriet Brewis reports on this story. One of the most significant shipwreck finds in recent times was made in an ostensibly unlikely place, Southwest African desert. The Bom Jesus, the Good Jesus, a Portuguese ship set sail from India for Lisbon on the 7th of March, 1533. It got caught in a devastating storm. It was laden with treasures, seemed to disappear without a trace until in 2008 its remains were finally discovered, along with around $13 million worth of gold coins. It was unearthed by diamond miners in a desert on the coast of Namibia, who had drained a man-made lagoon in the area. Dr. Dieter Nolli, chief archaeologist at the Southern African Institute of Maritime Archaeological Research, said he expected miners to one day come across a shipwreck. Indeed, the Namibian miners who worked for the diamond company, De Beers, called Dr. Nolli as soon as they made the find, since he had been telling them for more than a decade what to look for.
Having first started doing archaeological work for the mine in 1996, I had at that point been preaching to them that for a dozen years that one day they would find a shipwreck and to let me know when they do. And when asked what exactly I was really expecting to find, I said a Spanish sword and a bag of gold. Nonetheless, it wasn't until almost a week into the excavation of the ship that the treasure chest packed with gold was found. As luck would have it, we found the treasure chest on day 6. Academic arguments are all very well, but once you have literally filled your hat with a 25.5-pound mixture of Spanish and Portuguese gold coins, the value of the site is no longer in doubt. It was at this point the ship was confidently identified as the Born Jesus, which records show had been laden with tin, ivory tusk, and 44,000 pounds of copper ingots, as well as gold. In fact, the copper ingots ended up playing a key role in the wreck's preservation. Marine organisms may like wood, leather book covers, peach pips, ute sacking, and leather stones, but copper really puts them off their food. So that a lot of stuff survived the 500 years on the bottom of the sea, which should really not have done so. An extremely valuable find. Look at those coins in mint condition. Spanish and Portuguese gold coins. More than 2,000 gold coins were uncovered, as well as 5 anchors, 3 navigational dividers, and part of the ship's compass. But only a small part of the ship's original structure remained, having been extremely badly battered by the sea. Wow. Experts believe that the Born Jesus was sank when it was pulled too close to shore by an especially violent storm, causing its hull to collide with a rock, capsizing the vessel. As the coastline waters receded over the subsequent centuries, the ship later reemerged in the desert. Wow. Unfortunately for De Beers and the miners, the company doesn't get to enjoy their spoils, and the Namibian government took every single coin. And that's because the ship was buried on a beach, not at sea. Shame, shame, shame. Disappointing. Masisi taking credit for it. Yep. Agree with Jack. Bulls first if homegrown players disappear. Where would Rossi get the Booker? Yep. Let's blame the Romans. Okay, I think you're right about that. Gold equals money, not currency. Yep. All right. Shifting our attention from there to Ethiopia. Ongoing conflict inside Ethiopia, which I've told people about. The Ethiopians are fighting all kinds of wars, which people don't pay attention to. This one in Amhara. No end in sight. Battles intensify in Ethiopia's turbulent Amhara region as the government ramps up an offensive against rebellious militia and launches a crackdown against civil servants, journalists, and politicians sympathetic to those insurgents. Wow. Just after the rainy season ended, they had drought conditions and they intensified their attacks. 40,000 troops have been deployed in this offensive. Wow. In Amhara. And who's talking about it? Nobody. Nobody. Nigeria is going to sanction Starlink for increasing its prices, which they had little option to do because of the declining value of the naira. So this is what happens when governments, socialist governments, run countries. They interfere. Nigeria has begun a process to sanction Starlink after the satellite internet service owned by Elon Musk increased prices without approval from the regulator. Imagine that. Their costs go up, so they increase prices, but you have to have approval. A mother may I slip from some government official. SpaceX's Starlink unit recently doubled its monthly subscription rate to 75,000 naira from 38, citing excessive inflation, where there was a 34% hike in equipment charges. Wow. Nigerian law requires telecommunications license holders to obtain approval from officials before they raise tariffs or charges. What a stupid law. What a stupid law. Now, here's a very misleading report. Now, no doubt biodiversity is on the decline. No doubt that humans are going places they shouldn't be. No doubt that we're encroaching on habitat for wildlife and biodiversity, flora and fauna. But this is a very misleading headline and dishonest headline when it talks about this. So 76% of Africa's monitored wildlife populations have been lost over the past 50 years. That's actually not what the report says. When you actually go to the report from the World Wildlife Fund, it does not say that. It doesn't say that 76% of monitored populations have disappeared. What it says is that in Africa, the average decline in monitored wildlife populations stands at 76%. So 76% of the populations that they monitor have declined in numbers. It doesn't say how severe each of those declines are. It's a very misleading report. It's done intentionally to alarm people. And you don't need to lie. You can alarm people because things are not going well. A senior member of Myanmar's former government, illegally imprisoned by an illegitimate military junta, has died in prison. Another one. Zaw Mint Maung, a senior member of Myanmar's former ruling party arrested during the 2020 military takeover, died Monday while serving a prison sentence that was considered politically motivated. He was 72. A close colleague of ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi and a spokesperson for her National League of Democracy, he'd been a second vice president, chief minister of the central Mandalay region before the army seized control in 2021. He had leukemia since 2019. His death was confirmed by a party colleague from Mandalay and another friend who insists on anonymity for fear of being punished by the authorities. So yet another, that's 3 now, people have died in prison who were illicitly in prison by this corrupt military junta. Turning our attention to Europe, Viktor Orban, Hungary's premier, has railed against Ursula von der Leyen, which is a good name because she is lying all the time. Viktor Orban and Ursula von der Leyen clash in a fiery debate at the European Parliament. The gloves are off as Viktor Orban appeared before the European Parliament in Strasbourg and faced off with Ursula von der Leyen. Viktor Orban and Ursula von der Leyen clashed head-on during a fiery debate. Russia's war in Ukraine, how best tackle Europe's loss of competitiveness, and the rise of illegal migration were among the many areas of contention between the two. And he did not hold back, nor did she. Well, Elon Musk came to the rescue in North Carolina, but it's not quite as simple as that. Apparently, the promises that Musk made didn't translate down to the company providing the service. It's Starlink, and it's pissing people off with good reason. With good reason. Elon Musk's Starlink charges hurricane survivors $400 for free internet service. Ouch. Elon Musk pledged to give victims of Hurricane Helene 30 days' worth of free access to his satellite-based Starlink service, but the billionaire failed to mention that survivors would have to fork over $400 to buy the hardware. Wow. His post went viral. Unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out the way that he promised. Look at the creeks are receded up there now. Crazy. For those impacted by Hurricane Helene or looking to support response and recovery efforts in affected areas, Starlink is now free for 30 days. Yeah, if you have the equipment and the electricity, and oh, by the way, you have to get a special permission from the provider. He said that Starlink terminals will now all work automatically without need for payment in the areas affected by Hurricane Helene, except that that's not how it went. The online publication of the Register showed that anyone who tried to sign up for the service from the disaster-hit area still need to pay the $400 for the dish, as well as shipping, handling, and taxes. Wow. They had a special page created solely for hurricane victims, but according to anyone in the disaster area could get it. But after 30 days, you're automatically billed $120 a month for the service. Wow. Wow. So not a good delivery there, Elon. So people say things and then they have to deliver. Joe Biden's trip to Angola has been postponed. So disappointed. Yep. Look at Joe Biden, evil-looking troll. Joe Biden may have postponed his scheduled visit to Angola, but the country is still feeling extra pressure related to detain critics of the government and human rights violations, thanks to the attention of the White House. Yeah, well, Joe's not going to Africa. Surprise, surprise. The electoral map flips in the direction of Donald Trump in the battleground state of Michigan. He now has a lead in Michigan, according to multiple polls, and this is shocking the Democrats. They're losing their minds. A key swing state has flipped in favor of Donald Trump, according to a new electoral college map. Real Clear Politics polling shows that with no toss-up states, Michigan has flipped in favor of Trump, with the former president now half a point ahead of Kamala Harris. It's the first time the tracker's shown Trump ahead in the state, which Joe Biden won in 2020. First time since July 29th. Trump's lead in Michigan means the pollster is now forecasting that former president will win the election with 296 electoral college votes to Harris's 242. Michigan has 15. Wow. According to a survey by Quinnipiac, it puts him 4 points ahead in a head-to-head. Wow. So Trump is moving ahead, folks, and she is reeling everywhere. Hurricane Milton is moving away from Florida after its devastating impact last night. Winds and flood risks continue as Milton exits Florida. Rainfall moving offshore, but strong gusty winds continue in the wake along Florida's Atlantic coast on the other side of the peninsula. Early in the morning, winds along the Atlantic coast gusted to 92 miles per hour. Wow, that's crazy. In Marineland, 87 in Daytona Beach and 76 at South Hutchinson Island. That's just cray-cray. Cray-cray, but that's what's going on. Well, shocking new footage of what happened at Tropicana Field. It's the baseball stadium that in Tampa Bay where the Tampa Bay Devil Rays play at. They built the stadium in the path of a hurricane with canvas roof. Can you believe how stupid that is? Hurricane Milton's devastating winds ripped through the roof of Tropicana Field with dramatic new footage showing the damage done to the stadium. It's the home of the Major League franchise Tampa Bay Devil Rays. It had initially been turned into a base for 10,000 first responders. Well, how stupid was that? Look at the tarp, the roof lying all over the field and the seats. Wow. Whole panels are blown off the top of the arena by the storm, with baseball field also ripped up and covered in debris. There you go. Look at that. That's insane. There you go. That's what's left of the tarp. Almost the entire thing ripped off the stadium. That's going to be expensive to repair. Oof. And that was before the storm hit. Oops, not the best of plans, huh? The storm just tore that stuff apart. Wow. Not the best of plans there, folks. Some deaths attributed to the storm as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, exciting news if you're a Star Wars fan. Maybe, maybe not. Star Wars unveils its first look trans woman stormtrooper. Say what? A transgender stormtrooper? Yep. Yep. That's exactly right, folks. Star Wars has introduced its first transgender stormtrooper in a move that has left fans of the beloved sci-fi franchise divided. The storm named Sister, excuse me, not the storm. The character named Sister is clad in armor painted in the blue and pink of a transgender flag. So it was released in a book earlier this week. The dreadlock sporting soldier first appeared in a 2022 novel, A Queen's Hope. But the character's addition has left fans of the galaxy far, far away split. Some branding it utterly insane gender cult worship and moronic, while others rage it as batshit crazy. Oh my goodness. This is beyond stupid. I remember when Star Wars used to be about space wizards, epic adventures, and lightsaber. Now it's this. Others appeared critical of Disney owners of the franchise for allowing the character to become canon, branding Star Wars woke garbage. Gaming news YouTuber, the Arccast, is among those ridiculing the movie, saying in the video, "Finally, at long last, the thing that all Star Wars fans have been begging for, clamoring for years and years, have come true. What's that? Good storytelling? A focus on Thrawn, maybe? Or the Force? Jedi? The Emperor? Any of that stuff? No, you silly evil bigots, you. I'm talking about the first transgender stormtrooper." Wow, my friends and I were just talking about what could save this franchise, and it wasn't this. Star Wars has a transgender stormtrooper. Aren't stormtroopers evil? Why would transgender want to be associated with evil? Fascist. May the worst be with you. All right, folks, it's time to talk about Donald Trump and the election and Kamala Harris. You ready for this? From the Daily Mail is a host of things we're going to talk about here, and all are trending in Donald Trump's favor. Let's talk about that. Here we go. So let me bring this up on the screen. Ahead of the 2024 election, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are really how they're doing. Okay, so the race to the White House. So you can see this here since January. Trump had been in the lead. He had as much as 47 points back in February to Joe Biden's 43. And then the real gap occurred just before Joe Biden was dumped, when Trump hit almost 48.5%, and Biden dropped below 44. Then Kamala's fake surge, prompted by the media, put her up as high as 48 to 49 or 49%. Now she's back to 48, and Trump is up at 47. So the race to the White House, that's the popular vote. Now, the probability of winning, it's always been Trump's probability. In fact, in July, this is why they dumped Joe Biden. In July, the probability of Trump winning was over 80%. It dropped as low as 45%. It's back to 60% now as Kamala Harris craters in October. The October surprise is the pathetic campaign of Kamala Harris. Now, the race to the White House, the probability of winning since July. Trump was up over 80% back there in July, and now he's back up to 60%. He dropped as low as 40-some percent, 50%. State-by-state projections, and there's the map. The only things I disagree with on that, virtually nothing. They have got battleground states as iffy. They've got Florida as iffy, Georgia as iffy. I disagree. Those are solidly in Trump's camp. Pennsylvania is now in Trump's camp. Arizona is in Trump's camp. North Carolina will likely go in Trump's camp, provided that conservatives can get to the polling stations with the devastation. The rest of the map looks pretty straight to me. They've got Minnesota as iffy, as if Trump could win. I doubt that. Same with New Hampshire and Maine. I doubt that he can win Maine. He can win New Hampshire. And they've got Wisconsin, Nevada, and Michigan as toss-ups. Michigan and Nevada will likely go to Trump. I don't know about Wisconsin, possibly. So that's a pretty accurate map there. There you go. So, battleground states, who's winning? Well, Trump's closed the gap. He had a big lead, and he dropped when they gave her the fake press, but he's back. Anyway, there you have it. So, it's all going well. The first black governor of New York City who was blind in his 70s was beaten by a mob of black child thieves. Yep. No, I heard about that, but I didn't see the video. Yeah, black state. Yeah, first black governor of New York. Let me look that up. Two New York City housing authorities arrested in a gang attack on ex-New York governor. Housing authority employees. Oh, wow. Wow. Why are the employees arrested? That makes sense. These are kids. Two off-duty New York City housing authority employees arrested in gang attack on ex-New York governor. Police on Tuesday confirmed two more people. Both New York City employees have been arrested in connection with the reported weekend gang attack on Governor David Paterson and his stepson. What is going on? New York Police Department previously reported officers arrested a 12-year-old boy on second-degree assault and a 13-year-old boy on third-degree assault in the attack on the former governor, who's 70, who is legally blind, and his stepson, who's 20 years old. Two others, Traver Nurse, 40, and Diamond Minter, were taken into custody and charged with gang assault on Tuesday. Both worked for the housing authority, and police said Tuesday they were both off-duty at the time of the attack. Wow, they were walking the dog when he got attacked. That's insane. That's insane.
Have been arrested and charged tonight for allegedly attacking former New York Governor David Paterson and his 20-year-old stepson on Manhattan's Upper East Side.
Manhattan's Upper East Side. Former governor of New York. Wow. That's insane. I mean, that's just insane. I haven't really followed the story, but I'm aware of it. Let me see if I can find the video. It's wrong. That's crazy, folks. Yep. Oh, there's the video. Oh, my gosh. What the hell? Wow. That's sick. Oh, good. Hey, this guy's been arrested. You can see him be arrested. New York City employee claiming that the governor attacked him. The guy's blind, attacked him.
Why'd you attack him?
He attacked me. He attacked me.
Governor Paterson attacked him. That seems implausible. Do you even know who you're talking about there, moron? This is what happens when people are given a free pass because of historically disadvantaged, systemic racism. So we don't hold people to standards and accountability. This is what you get. This is what you get.
What happened?
Look at my eye. Look at my eye. Look at my eye.
What happened to your eye?
Look at my eye. I don't see anything with your eye, buddy. And that justifies that pummeling of the former governor? Wow. 12 and 13-year-olds. Unbelievable. They claim they're victims. Where are the guardian angels at in New York? Wow. They claim they're victims. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. That's what's happened in New York. That's what it's come to. Thanks for being here, everyone. It's here. Appreciate it. Patterson replacement for Spitzer, who had to leave office. Something like that. Please no smack. Please no smack. A blind old man on the ground. Who could do that? Well, hoods, thugs. Yep. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? What was that? The EFF? Yeah, exactly. Trump cannot be allowed to win. ESG's DEIs would not get quickly implemented to achieve the agenda. Yep. Trans trooper can get lost in space. Star Boars. Oh my goodness, you guys. Maybe we can interest Joe Biden in a hiking holiday in Kruger National Park. Yeah, I'm with you. Pablo Charlie says, dear Democrats, fasten your seatbelts. You got a $2,000 stimulus check? I never got a $2,000 stimulus check. I got it's a $300 one or something like that, maybe $600. Didn't ask for it, didn't want it. Complex will use tax dollars. Yeah, they use tax dollars to pay for a new Tampa Bay Stadium roof. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Don't let the crocodile catch you. Training taking showed all the swimmers who survived were medal winners. Hey, Allison, phone call. Kept looking at the time thinking I'm missing the news. Well, glad to see you're here. Go back and watch from the beginning when we're done, if you don't mind. Masisi's taking credit. Yeah, Masisi will take credit for stuff. That's who he is. That's who he is. That's who he is. Anyway, things are looking grand for the Trump campaign, but that doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't mean he's won, but it's looking pretty good at this point. So we'll see how it goes. If he pulls it off, it would be good to see that. But anyway, let me check on something here real quick. I was charging my other phone. Oh, it's at 98%. That's good. What's that? Hang on a second. What is that? Okay, well, the screen was locked. It shouldn't have done anything. It shouldn't be doing things when a locked screen. Trump may do whatever he wants in his last term. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they're terrified of. They claim he's going to be anti-democratic and he's going to dictate. That's what we have now. Joe Biden. Anybody see my video? I published it right before this. I mean, literally right before this. I didn't have a chance to get it up sooner. I was busy. But yeah, 39 people have seen it. That's not many. So maybe some of you will go see it after this. But you see ANC. It's funny. It was from Garrett. Yep. So just 39. Wow, that sucks. 55 actually. So, yep. And what's going on over here? Do we hit 5,000 yet? Oh, so close. Whoops. I'm going to reload this and see if it's actually 4,800. The video I did on Dudazila. Hang on a second. What's this? Hang on. Automated system. Sorry, folks. I got to hear this again.
Appointment, press 1. To reschedule, appointment confirmed.
Sorry about that, folks. That was rather important. Automated system. It doesn't jive with what I've got here, so now I've got another conundrum here. I got to figure out what's going on. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that doesn't make any sense. I got to check something here. That says there. This says here. Okay, I'm not sure which is which. Is this 2 test? Wow. Okay. Huh. Okay. I got some confusion going on here. Tucker Carlson's latest podcast looks interesting. Interview with some foreign, what's that? Crypto guy. Okay. Hey, G Sawyer, welcome to the program. How's your solar? It's not great. 2 weeks of rain. I didn't get any solar. So I'm barely going to get what I had last year, it looks like. Today is just 11. It's 120. It's not been great. Just 233 for the month. 33 yesterday. 31, 29, 21, 33, 36, 14 before that. So not very good the past week. Yeah, lifetime now 8.79. It's supposed to be, I think, 8.9. So I'll probably make that by November 1st. But yeah, it's And I might even make it by the annual date here. Next couple days was the 13th was turned on last year, but it's only getting it 6 kilowatts, and it says it's an 8 kilowatt system. It won't go to 8. I don't know if they didn't install enough panels or what's going on, but I'm not happy. Not happy. Trump surging and Cam falls on her. Gee, swear. Latinos for Trump. Well, lots of folks, black men, are going in droves for Trump. In droves, is anything over 9% is a drove because that's been bad for a while. Scumbag elite took out Florida to minimize the vote and get lithium in North Carolina. But what does everybody keep going on with lithium in North Carolina? There's no lithium in North Carolina. Nothing worthwhile. But anyway, this thing is tapered off now. I'm at 4,800. I was hoping to get to 5,000, but it dropped just. Well, I should make it in the next 2 hours. But anyway, yeah, 15 subscribers from it. So thanks for that, folks. Appreciate it. That video is getting some subscribers. But yep, let me see if the numbers have increased now. Hang on a second. Come on. No, not much. Anyway, yep. So, by the way, you can do longer shorts now. So on YouTube, anything under 3 minutes is going to be considered a short. So they'll let you do up to 3 minute shorts. And now anything under 3 minutes is going to be automatically converted to a short on YouTube. So I'm not sure I like that. If I do a video that's less than 3 minutes, I don't want them converting it to a short. That's crazy. But I'm happy that you can do 3 minute shorts now. That makes a nice change. They should allow 10-minute shorts as well. Heard that with solar, your best power generation months are spring and autumn. This is proven to be the case, spring, but not autumn. Autumn has not been very good. Spring was very good. The best month of the year was before summer even officially started. Yep. And I had 1.2 megawatts in, what was it, April or something like that, or May? Let me see. Look at the year. The best month was that June? It was actually June. Well, summer starts in June. I had 1.19 megawatts. So I've got 1 megawatt, just 2 months. 2 months. June and July, I got 1 megawatt each. Yep. Everything else has been south of that. So right now it's generating 5.33 kilowatts per hour. And yeah, so 6 is the max. It's only 56 degrees outside. That's kind of chilly, actually. I like that. No Wyatt Watts in autumn and fall. Not enough. They are there, but not enough. YouTube, that's for attention span. Well, they finally figured it out, Mike. I mean, TikTok has been eating YouTube's lunch when it comes to the short format videos, as has Instagram. Some smart solar systems hold a 2 kilowatt reserve for fluctuations. That's probably what's going on here. But why is it not generating that power? It's an 8 kilowatt system, and every time it hits 6 kilowatts, it peaks. It won't go any higher. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. So that's 25% of my capacity not generating. Why? And what do you mean by reserve, Mark? What is a reserve? Reserve what? As the ability to absorb the solar radiation? I'm not sure what that means. Anyway, I'm not happy about it because it could be 25% higher. Instead of having 8 megawatts, I could have over 10 in the past year, which meant I would have made some money off it. I haven't made any money. I've had a couple months where my bills have been zero because of the solar generation, but it's not ideal. Anyway, right. All right, folks. Kamala's claim to fame is Willie Brown. Yep. When you start big motors or loads. Yeah, but it never generates more than 6, is what I'm saying. Never. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure. Donald Trump is more in common with black Americans than the other president. That's true. No, I have no batteries for storage. So everything it's generating right now is being fed into the house, and anything I'm not using, because I'm not using 5 kilowatts right now, goes back into the grid. It's fed back into the grid. And I get a credit for that. So, yeah, that's what we're talking about. No, this scheme that the state came up with, you're not allowed to get batteries. It was out without batteries. So there you have it. Anyway, tomorrow we have an interview. We'll have the news first, then we'll have an interview with this foundation that helps people in need. So that should be interesting. And my guest tomorrow will be, make sure I get the names correct. Don't want to misspeak here. Hang on a second here. There we go. It will be Eileen Ben and Kizito Amadi. Kizito Amadi and Eileen Ben. That will be my guest tomorrow at 8 p.m. South African time, when I'll be covering. What's going on here? People posting in the group. Okay, I'll be covering that group. So we'll be talking tomorrow at the foundation. Then Saturday, 3 rugby games on Rugby Ascendant. Sunday, 1 rugby game. And then next Monday, well, Monday I'm okay. It's Columbus Day. Although I went into someplace yesterday and said Indigenous Peoples Day. Screw you. It's not Indigenous Peoples Day. It's Columbus Day. That's insulting. That's racist. That's racist to come up with the Indigenous Peoples Day on Columbus Day. You want to have Indigenous Peoples Day, then have it, but not on Columbus Day. So racist. Why so early? 8 p.m. is early to you, Pablo, Charlie? What are you talking about? What's early? That's not early. Anyway, so Monday, I don't have my consulting gig, so I have Monday, but then Tuesday through Friday, I'm tied up the next week, all day, Monday through Friday. So, yep. Yeah, PCBS is what it is. Yep. I was at the bank. I went and made a deposit for the Veterans Organization because they had nobody to do it. So I took the money over and deposited it, and on the door it said Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. So I won't do business with that bank. Not me personally. 87 likes. Come on. I thought you were going to end the stream. Yeah, Pablo, I always say that. It gives people a warning in case you got to go. Anyway, all right. I am going to end it. Yep. So thanks for being here, folks. I've got to run into the barracks and take care of some paperwork because they apparently deleted my account there. So I've got to go in and redo it with my military card. And got to remember to take that with me. Got to run that down. And then I've got veterans meetings tonight, so I got a lot of work to do. So I'll catch you guys later, okay? It is a credit union, Mike. It is a credit union. That's what I'm talking about. Yep. They're also the ones that hold the mortgage for the Veterans Association, the VFW. Yep. But I don't do business there. All right, folks. Catch you later. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Be sure to check out some other content when you get a chance. Have a lovely evening. God bless and cheers.